Hi fellow beaders, it's JP and I just wanted to say hello again. And as I've changed my format, so every video you're going to see my face. Anyway, so today I'm going to show you how to make the bracelet to these earrings here that I'm wearing. So here's the bracelet and there it is. But before we get started, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. So I started beading back in 2009. So it's been almost like 8 years, 8.5, almost 9 years that I've been beading. And you know, the first time I saw a beadwork magazine is basically what got it all started. And then of course I was obsessed. Then it was time to, you know, buy beads and start making things. So, and I actually started making things from watching YouTube channels, and I was watching Beading for a Perfectionist. It was probably one of the first channels that I discovered. And then her other channel, I think it's B4 Backup or B4P Backup, something like that is the other channel, which she calls her beginner's channel. So that's kind of where I got started. And so Gianna Zimmerman is the one who kind of got me going on beading. And then couple years ago I thought, well, I think maybe I can start teaching people. Now one of the other things is, I'm sure you guys know, I'm left-handed, so that was another sort of motivation in me wanting to start a beading channel, because there was not much out there for lefties. And I thought, well, if I'm having trouble, because I had a lot of trouble with right angle weave, trying to learn that and watching people do it right-handed and trying to learn it as a lefty. So I thought, well, there's got to be hopefully other lefties who have trouble with some of these stitches. And anyway, that's what got me started in beading. And I also love to teach. So my obsession is beads and my other passion is teaching. I actually really enjoy teaching. And from what you guys have been telling me, you think I'm a good teacher. So thank you so much for that. As I said before, I love the input, and so please provide input, and if you like, tell me how you guys got started in beading, sort of what started the little spark. Anyway, well, I'm going to give you a close-up of the bracelet and what beads you need and so forth. So let's get started. Okay, so here is the close-up of the bracelet. So from end to end, excluding the clasp, the bracelet is exactly 6 inches. And as you can see, these are, what I did was make little triangles here with the 4 millimeters and the bigger triangles with the 6 millimeter. So, and here are the earrings from last week. So that's the matching bracelet to go with the earrings. Now, so the 6-inch bracelet, you are going to need a total of 18 6 millimeter beads, and you are going to need a total of 15 4 millimeter beads for a 6-inch. So obviously if you're making, you need something a little bit longer, then you're going to need more of each of the beads. And the other bead I used are 11/0 beads here. And then I have a couple of jump rings and a clasp, and that is it. Well, and of course, you know, your beading needle and a thread. So I used probably about 5 feet of thread for my bracelet, maybe a little bit more. And so it's just gonna depend on how long of a bracelet you need. So start working with what's comfortable, and then you guys can add more thread. And it's really easy to add thread because you can just tie off in the big 4 or 6 millimeter beads and then add on more thread. Now let me flip it to the back. So this is the back. So just like the earrings, with the earrings I made a back. So here were the earrings, and there's the back of them. So I did something similar to give you a little bit of a back. And as I said earlier, this one's a little bit harder to follow along. And so I'm not recommending it for a beginner, but like I said, if you're up for the challenge, I mean, you're really just going around and around and around, essentially, as you do this. So hopefully you guys will like the tutorial, and let's get started. To start our component, go ahead and pick up your 6 millimeter fire polish and your 11-0 seed beads, and do so in an alternating order. And we are going to tie a knot so that we have a circle, basically, or a little mini triangle, like so. And we're just doing a square knot, nothing complicated. I think I say that in every video. So there's my knot. I'm going to go through all the beads again and get my knot pulled into the big 6mm bead here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go through that 6mm once more and come out of the 11-0. And this should secure the knot, and this will be much more secure too. So I've reinforced it. Now go ahead and pick up 3 11-0s and go back around the same 11-0 and then go through the fire polish. And that's what you should get. Go through the 11-0, pick up 3 11-0s, go back around that same 11-0 and through the fire polish and the next 11-0. And that's what you should have so far. Now I'm going to do this once more. I'm going to pick up 3 11-0s, go back through my 11-0 here, and then through the fire polish. And that's what I've got. I'm going to go through the 11-0, and what I want to do is end up here at this bead. So I'm just going to turn my work so I can continue to work in the upward direction. Then I'm going to go through the 11-0 here and the top one. So that will put me in position. And now we're going to take these pieces and connect them together. So I'm going to pick up 3 11-0s and go through the top bead here. So the thread's coming out of this one at the top here, and connecting to this one over here. Like so. I'm going to turn, I'm going to repeat what I just did. So I'm going to pick up 3 more and go through this top one. And let's get this tail out of the way. So there's what I've got, and I'm going to do this one last time. Pick up my beads. Now here's the top one here. This is where we got started. So brought everything together, and that's what your piece should look like. Now I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this once more. So I'm just going to go through all of these beads. So I'm going through about 4 beads at a time. And last time, alright, so this is actually the back of our component, and that's finished. So you should be coming out of one of the beads that are kind of part of the point of this little seed bead triangle we got here. So this one here is where I'm exiting, and it's connected to the rest of these beads here. So I'm going to go down the side bead, and I'm going to come out of the center bead here that's between the 6mm. And now what I'm going to do is pick up 8 11-0s. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm going to go into the next 11-0 bead. So I'm going to have a loop that forms around the 6mm, like that. And we're going to do this 2 more times until we have loops around all of the 3 6mm beads. So I'm picking up 8 11-ohs again. And I've got 6, 7, and 8. And I'm going to go into this 11-oh over here. There you go, that's what you should have. And we do it again. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And into this next 11-oh. Now what you want to do is go up the first, so you're exiting here, so you want to go through the first 4 11-oh beads here. And then what you're going to do is pick up 7 11-ohs. I got 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'm going to go back around the 2 beads here. So the 2 11-ohs that are part of this component now. And what I've done is created our loop. And then what you want to do is go ahead and reinforce this a few times. So I'm going to go through the seed beads again. I'm not adding anything. I just want to make sure that this loop is for the clasp. So I imagine you guys have figured that out. Generally this is what I do. And I'm going to go through one more time. And then we continue. So I've gone through it 3 times. It should be fairly secure. And now I'm going to come down the rest of these seed beads here. So I'm going to do one last thing, is to go back, and I'm reinforcing the loops as I go here. So I want to come down to this bottom fire polish, and I want to create a little point within the loop. So I'm going to go through the first 4 11-ohs that are part of this group, and pick up an 11-oh seed bead and just create a little point. And there you have it. There's our point. And I am going to go back around. But I went through, what I'm going to do is actually go through the fire polish, because I need to get over here now. So I'm going to come out of this middle 11-oh here that's between the fire polish and go through the fire polish. So kind of skipping the loops a little bit. Now I can kind of come at it over here of this loop, of these seed beads here. And what I want to do is get in position to add my next part of the bracelet. Excuse me. So what I want to do is sort of be in the middle, and also to create a little symmetry. So here's where this loop is created. So I'm going to make sure that I'm in position in about the same place. So the way to do that is to look at where your seed beads are that connect the fire polish together. So this one here is between these 2 fire polish, and then I started this loop here on the 3rd and 4th from that seed bead. So I'm going to do the same thing. So here's my center seed bead on this side, and this is the one that connects these 2 fire polish. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm in the right position here. And I'm actually going to use these 2 seed beads to connect my component, to create the next component part. And that way you get a nice even distribution as you do. So pick up 2 11/0s, a 4mm fire polish, and 2 more, and then go back around the 2 seed beads that I pointed out earlier. Like so. I'm just going to turn the work over. So I'm working in this upward direction. I'm going to go through the 2 seed beads and the 4mm. So it's actually going in this direction is what I'm doing. So building the bracelet that way. And I mean, you can build it in any direction. It's the way I started. So now I'm going to pick up an 11/0, my 4mm 11/0, 4mm, and 1 more 11/0. And I'm going to go back around just the 4mm here. Like so. And that's what you should get. Now go through all of the beads once, so we're going to reinforce this. So I'm just going to go through 2 or 3 beads at a time. And once I come out of this 11/0 here, I'm going to pick up 5 11/0 seed beads. And I'm going to skip over the fire polish and go into this 11/0. Just like so. Oh, sorry, not 5. I need to add 6 here. Pick up 1 more. And then go through the next one. So that's 6. For this one, you're going to do 5. Like so. Skip the fire polish and go through the 11/0 here. And that's what you should get. So now there's a little bit of spacing here between the fire polish and the 11/0. So I want to bring these closer together. So I'm coming out of this 11/0, and I'm actually going to go through, I'm going to skip over that fire polish and go through the 11/0s here, and even the ones that I'm connected to the component with. And that helps tighten up all the spacing. Now I'm going to go through these 2. And I'm going to add 1 more 11/0 here, and then go through all of these. And that helps eliminate some of the spacing issues. It'll also eliminate, it'll give you enough spacing over here so that the piece is going to lie straight across and you're not going to get a little bit of the curvature. Which if you're making a necklace, that's okay, but for a bracelet, that's not really going to work too well. Now what you need to do is be in position to add the next set of beads. And so again, to be in position, I'm going to do the same thing that I did over here, where I'm going to make sure that the components match up. So if you look here, I'm connected on this side. And so I have my center 11/0 here, which connects the 2 4mm, and then I go up 2 and I'm through the 3rd and the 4th from this position. So you basically want to be in that same position here. So I need to go into 1 more 11/0, and then I'll be in position to add more connectors. So I just realized that I don't have enough of my 6mm out, so I need some more of those to get in position to make that next component. And I need more seed beads. My little pile has gotten very small. was trying to stay within camera. There's my pile. So now in order to do this, what I need is two 11-0s, my 6mm, and then 4 11-0s. And I want to go through these two 11-0s here. So to make sure that I'm matched with the pieces over here. So I've got two here, I've got these two here, and then these two, and then two, and then there's that connector. So to kind of give it all symmetry. And now you guys can see what I'm doing next. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to turn the work for a second. I'm going to continue into the seed beads. And then into the 6mm. So essentially I'm doing the same thing I just did with this one, except it's just bigger, so there's more seed beads involved. So now I'm going to pick up an 11-0 fire polish, 11-0, my fire polish, and my 11-0. I'm going to go through the other fire polish here. So we get your 3 together. Now we go through this 11-0. We pick up 3, go back through the 11-0, just like so. Make sure there's no slack as you're doing this. And then pick up 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then go into this one here. Just like that. Pick up 3. Make a loop around this middle one. Then you're going to pick up 8 again. There's 4. And there's 8. Go through this one here. So you see what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys are following along and understand what I'm doing there. Now pick up 3. We're going to go back through this one, like so. Flip to the back. You want to come up into this point at the top one in this group of 4, like so. So now we have to connect our back. 1, 2, 3. Go to this one here. So I picked up 3 11-0s, by the way. Hopefully that made sense when I said 1, 2, 3. Then 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And we'll go through this one over here. And 1, 2, 3. Back to this one where we started. And there's our little back of the component, our triangle. So now I'm going to go ahead and reinforce all of this to tighten it up. there's that. Okay, so now we got to come back down and work on the front. The back of that component's done. So I went down the side, and I'm going to go through this middle one here. And we're back to the front. So now this one looks very separated. So what you want to do is you're coming out of this middle one, and you want to connect all of these seed beads here together and tighten that up. Like so. And then you go through the middle one here. And that brings it all closer together. Now you go through the first 4 of these. And we're going to add our little point. So go ahead and pick up an 11-0 and then go up into the next 4 in that loop. So, oops, wrong one. I really should look at what I'm doing. Sorry, let's undo that. So you want to continue through all the seed beads until you get to the center here. So the center is going to be here. Now I pick up that 11-0 to make my point. And there we go. Go through the fire polish. And then go into this 11-0 here. And then we're going to go down and get ourselves into position to add the component here. So again, we just got to make sure we're matching up. So I have my center 1, 2, 3, and then 4th and 5th. So same thing here. There's my center 1, 1, 2, 3. Here's 4 and 5 is where the 2 connections are going to go. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pick up your 2 11-0 beads, grab a fire polish, and then 2 more 11-0s. And you're going to go back through beads 4 and 5. Okay, so I think you guys know what to do next. You know how to connect this one here. And so basically what you're going to do now is continue adding your beads until you have your full bracelet. All right, so keep going and I will see you at the end. Here is the completed bracelet. So my bracelet was, as I said earlier, 6 inches. I went ahead and added on my lobster claw clasp like I typically do. You of course can do anything else with as far as the clasp goes. It's kind of up to you, whatever works for you. I like to keep that simple so that I can focus on the design of the beads and how they're arranged. Well, I hope you guys like this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one.